Howdy, folks. It is Diecast Buffet here again. It is time for, we're going to be talking about the dual races, the recap, and previewing the Daytona 500. Now, I don't know if we've ever done a post-dual race review. Also, I apologize if the audio is not good. I'm trying to get better at these whole microphone things. Anyways, we'll be talking about the dual races and why I personally think this was one of the best dual races I've ever seen. Like, both of them, the first and the second one, were actually really freaking good. And if you look back at 2022's dual races and how boring and how bland they were like freight train racing. I'm telling you, man. So I don't know if they upped the prize purse for it or they added a new stipulation or something, but they had a fantastic, I'm talking fantastic dual races. Just a lot of two wide racing. I mean, they were going for it. We had a massive crash in duel number 2 that took out a buttload of good cars. There's gonna be some backup cars, I'd imagine, and we'll be talking about that here. So I picked for duel number 1. I picked Christopher Buescher. He didn't win it. Turned out it was Tyler Reddick, and he won in that monster car. It's like a hard iced tea car, but oh my gosh, I love that paint scheme. Unfortunately, it's not going to get made, so you got to make it yourself. I might add that to my collection down the road. Who knows? Raced version? Dual win? That'd be pretty cool. Hey. And the second duel, I picked Kyle Busch. Well, he and Ryan Blaney and Byron, they had a big wreck. Anyways, Kyle Busch got knocked out of it. Christopher Bell actually won the second duel. And the narrative entering tonight's duel races, I don't know what time this is going to be uploaded because I'll keep it brief here. I try to upload these things in 4K, right? I know the camera quality is not that great, but I at least render it in 4K, which basically means it gives the video camera the absolute best possible resolution. Well, when you do that, it obviously makes the file size significantly larger, which takes a lot longer to get these videos out. So that's probably why all the raced reactions this year, or race reactions, are probably going to take a couple hours instead of just 30 minutes or so after the race. Anyways, Christopher Bell winning. The narrative was Toyotas are slow. They had a horrible qualifying effort in terms of their qualifying joint. Toyota has never won the Daytona 500 pole. Right, they've won multiple Daytona 500s. They were just okay, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're done. The new Camry mold or nose is horrible." I'm like, guys, it's handling. There's a reason why Hendrick Motorsports hasn't won a 500 since 14. It's because they only cared about qualifying for a decade. Of course, Hendrick doesn't win the pole this year. It's actually swept by Logano and McDowell. And let me tell you, Logano and McDowell took every risk just about possible to destroy their race cars. And it's borderline a miracle they didn't get in a wreck. So if you're a Logano or a McDowell fan, you're probably sweating a little bit after watching that because they were trying to tear up some good equipment. Anyways, Hendrick Motorsports, they actually looked pretty fast. I was really impressed with Larson, really impressed with Chase. Those are my two guys I'm cheering for. But I'm telling you, man, these Toyotas, bro. I'm thinking about my pick for Sunday. They got all the cars they needed in. They got Jimmy Johnson in, right? So that means they have, I think it's 9 factory-backed Toyota cars. And I was doing some mental research, so to speak. I believe this is the strongest Daytona 500 field Toyota has ever had in NASCAR Cup Series history. They started racing in the Cup Series in 2007. I look back and I think the second time they had this many cars, because this would be, or technically this is the second time, but the last time they had this many cars, they were factory backed. I want to say it was 2012, 2013, or possibly 2015. I could be mistaken on that because you had MWR, you had the 55 car, which was ran with a bunch of different drivers, Joe Gibbs Racing, X, Y, and Z. Now, throughout NASCAR history, there's been a lot of backmarker Toyota teams, but I'm talking like factory backed. I'm talking like they are a actual, contender. All the cars are contenders. Jimmy Johnson's not going to show up to the racetrack with non-contending vehicles. Okay, there's too much money involved, right? Joe Gibbs Racing. If you don't win a race there, you're pretty much going to be fired. That's how they do it. Look at Eric Jones. He had to win every year, and then the one year he doesn't win, they booted him out of that 20 car. Anyways, and of course you have 2311, which, I mean, they freaking won a dual race tonight. Bubba, fast as ever, you know what I'm saying? The Toyota camp, this is the best shot they've ever had in terms of a number statistic to win the Daytona 500. I'm not sure who I'm going to pick yet. There's probably going to be a couple more storylines that are going to come out of Friday and Saturday. But yeah, definitely Ryan Blaney. That was a big wreck right there during the dual race. And that's going to set him back a little bit. But it's Team Penske. They're going to have a backup car just as good probably. And man, this is going to be a fun Daytona 500. This is going to be a fun one. And I want to also touch on, they're probably going to make the Christopher Bell race to win, or at least offer it. So if you want to get that one pre-ordered in the 124 or 164, once again, they're not going to make the Tyler Reddick one. You'll have to make it yourself. Anyways, you'll be able to pre-order that. I have no idea if it's going to get made. Dual wins are kind of like hit or miss. So if you want to pre-order that, Circle B Diecast, use the promo code Diecast Buffet. You don't have to use it, but at least allows you to save on shipping. Any orders $30 or more. Man, I'm hyped. I love the 500. And I'll try to end this video talking about how I feel about Speed Weeks. I really wish Speed Weeks was back to the 2-week thing. I had kind of a discussion with myself, so to speak. What should they do to get Speed Weeks back to 2 weeks? Because the Super Bowl obviously has changed the 2-week thing to making it like a 5-day show, right? They can't compete with the Super Bowl. That's just a fact. No sport on planet Earth, no television show can compete with it, okay? They take that whole day off from all their premieres, trust me. I was thinking 2 scenarios how they could get Speed Weeks back to 2 weeks. Either move the Daytona 500 back to its OG date, which was like early February, like February 4th, and have the Budweiser shootout, Busch Clash, whatever you call it, the dual races, they'd be ran around the 25th of January. They used to do that many years ago. So that's not something untraditional. Or, which is very unorthodox, move the Daytona 500 and the whole schedule back a week. So the Daytona 500 might actually get ran on like February 28th, right? That way it gives you that 2-week period before or after the Super Bowl. Because you have that Pro Bowl week where there's not a lot going on. They could run the Daytona 500 during the Pro Bowl. That's just a little thing I was thinking of. And I'll end the video on this. With Atlanta being a super speedway race next week, it almost feels like we have Speed Weeks back, because it's like we're going to be watching restrictor plate style racing for 2 weeks straight, and I'm kind of hyped about it. I was against the Atlanta moving up, but I'm like, after the 500's over, I don't have to wait till freaking March. I get more plate racing next week. I'm freaking happy about that. So comment down below, who is your pick for the Daytona 500? It's probably going to be a demolition derby. I don't know how the weather will fare. Historically, it has been a long time since we've had a rain-shortened Daytona 500. Always something to think about. But let's hope it's a good one. I'm excited, guys. Toyota looks strong. I like the new Toyota and Ford front ends. They look fantastic. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. If I could English, that'd be good. Thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. For the first time in years, I'm actually really impressed with the dual races this year. I mean, like, the drivers actually tried. That was fun. I can't wait, guys. Diecast Buffet. Have a blessed one. Signing off.